He is running around like a crazy man throwing dirt here, but I thought I would answer some of your questions. A lot of you have asked me what the difference was between having 1 and 2 kids, and I've been meaning to do a video about this for a while because it's something that I know I thought about a lot when I had just 1 child and I was pregnant. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, my 5-month update, I was crying and I was just like wondering how I could even love another child. I just have a lot of anxiety about how different it's gonna be and whether it's gonna change our relationship, mine and Liam's. And I know I'm gonna love my new son, but it's just so hard to think that it's not gonna be me and Liam anymore. So I feel awful for even feeling that way, but I just kept thinking that the relationship that Liam and I had was going to change, and I just didn't know what to expect. And like all things, we all fear the unknown. So anyways, these are just a few things that I thought of that are kind of like pros and cons, or like the good side and the hard side about going from 1 to 2 kids. So one of the biggest things that I felt like nobody told me was how much you end up reprimanding your first child. Sounds awful, but what happens is you now have this newborn baby and your older toddler wants to help out and give them the blanket and the pacifier, but they're just not gentle. And sometimes you'll see and your toddler's like poking out the baby's eyes, and so you're constantly like, no, don't do that, stop, yelling or just saying different things. And I would say the first 2 weeks that was so like disheartening to me. I'm like, man, I'm always yelling at him. I never used to yell, because it's kind of like when you're around friends and you're always having to tell your kid, share. Come here, Lookie, say hi. Say hi, yes. So you never have to tell your kids share when they're an only child, but then other kids come around and now you're constantly like, share, don't do that. Like, it's kind of like that. And so I think like if you just, know that that's how it is, you can prepare to maybe figure out ways to be more gentle and, I don't know, a different approach with your toddler, because you are gonna you basically have to keep your baby alive, because your toddler will do some crazy things. So the next biggest difference is everything takes so much longer. And I know it sounds obvious because you're going from 1 to 2, but it's just like, oh my gosh, trying to get out of the house literally takes me 2 hours or an hour. Like this whole concept of getting dressed and fast, no, because while you're getting one dressed, the other one's having a tantrum or someone wants a drink, and you're just it takes hours. Next thing is dealing with the jealousy. So not so much jealousy where they hate the other sibling, but just jealousy in that they want the same time that you used to give them, they still want it. So if you used to snuggle in bed, well, now you're nursing the other one, and so there's just this your toddler still wants that same attention that you used to give them, but now you're kind of giving it to the baby. It's just hard to divide up your time, and then your toddler is going to be a little jealous and get his feelings hurt sometimes. So just that was really hard for me. It still is hard for me, just dividing up my time. And I only have 2, you guys. Seriously, how do people have 5, 6, 7 kids? I don't know. Another big difference that I noticed was with your first, you're documenting everything. Liam had so many movies and journal entries and scrapbookings, and once your second one comes around, it's you do celebrate their big milestones and moments, but it's not the same. You're not filming every little thing, because you've kind of don't you dare throw that dirt at me, because you've kind of seen it already. And it's still exciting, don't get me wrong, it is still very exciting, and you're celebrating the milestones and stuff, but it's not the same. So it's a little different. So the second, Lookie, stop it, he's throwing dirt here. So the second does kind of get a little bit of the short end of the stick. And I think I saw Natural Mama talk about this too, how Paloma... Lukey! He just threw dirt! No! He just threw all this... Look at this! Ugh. I'm covered in dirt. Stinker! Bedtime. Bedtime is a little difficult for us because we co-sleep. So if you co-sleep, I know that you're wondering how you're going to transition over to sleeping now with 2 kids, or will the other one go away? We thought that we would put our toddler in another room or whatever, but we just continued the co-sleep. Even as a baby, somehow we just all were in the same bed. I did have a little bassinet next to the bed where the baby would go into, and then as he got older, we were just boom, 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 sardines in the bed. Now that my son is 4 years old, I'm ready for him to get out, and we're gonna be on that weaning process too. But I don't know, you guys, this is just how I am. We're just very hands-on with our kids, just like they just sleep with us, we bathe together. That's the kind of mom and parents like we are, and so we're just like kind of go with the flow. I know eventually he'll be out of our bed and I'm not stressing about it, but I think, you know, I'm definitely like, I'm ready to have my husband back and have the kids in their own room. So now the good stuff is the help. You're gonna see a different side in your toddler, how they're gonna be so helpful and bring you things that you need for the baby. And then as the baby starts getting older, the relationship, like to see the siblings like love each other and hug. Like Lukey loves, whenever he's away from his brother and he sees him again, he calls him Bubba and he's like, Papa! And he's so happy, and to see their little relationship and them hugging, it's like the cutest thing in the world. Another good thing is that like your toddler is going to be able to dress themselves, so you're not really going to have to be like dressing two kids, but you are going to have to be getting like the two snacks. Like they're going to want their own individual stuff, so you can't just leave with like one snack and a sippy cup. Like they're going to fight, so you got to get your like one for each. But so just seeing them like bathe together and just play together, it's really beautiful, and I love that part about it. So those were the biggest things that I could think about. Of course, I'm gonna end this video and think of a million other things I could have said, and I will probably write them in the description because I know I'm gonna think about these things. But if you're just worried about just how much more hectic it's going to be, like it's going to be hectic but then smooth at the same time, because your toddler's getting bigger and more independent, and it is going to be a lot easier. Not as hard as you think, because especially at first, like the babies sleep so much. So it's not like that hard in the beginning because they just sleep. So anyways, guys, I'd love to hear from you. What were the biggest differences you saw going from 1 to 2 kids? Leave them in the comments below. See you guys in the next one. Bye.
It would have saved me so much grief and time upon my knees.